That was my buddy Tom. He teaches over here. Really good pro, nice guy. But we talk about playing. I'm playing tournaments now, and he's a very good player. He's a little banged up. He was in an accident. So chiropractic is a really good medicine, I think, for tennis players, because you get tangled up, you get twisted up from serving. You know, it's torsional a little bit. You got to make sure you stretch. I need to stretch a lot more, but I stretch before I go do my chiropractic adjustments, because it helps the chiropractor do their adjustments more easily if you can relax. You got to know your body to, I think, get good benefit out of chiropractic. But for a tennis player, it's so awesome. Anyway, went off on a tangent. I'm working out on the wall, testing out my new microphone. I'm just using a softball right now. And I thought it would be helpful if I start kind of explaining to you guys what I'm doing for my own game for a seasoned player. It's a nice way of saying a senior player. What can a senior player do to play better tennis, play more competitive, start to get fit? Well, the wall is an ancient secret, and so good for your timing. It's just juicy, fun. I'm hitting on just this one side because there's a big puddle to my left. What I'm trying to do on this little exercise, I'm going zen with some timing, but I'm working on keeping the racket head above my wrist. And yes, I know I'm an old school stroke here with the 3/4 swing approach shot from the 60s and 70s that is coming back, baby. It's coming back into today's game. The modern 6'5", 200-pound baseball athlete that we're finding in tennis now is starting to get equipped with some new golf clubs in the golf bag. So it's kind of fun that some senior former pros can share some tools and golf clubs from yesteryear that are helpful for today's game for all levels of play. And there's a preference. As a senior player, we tend to do these. You'll see more guys with these kind of shorter back swings. The modern player hits a lot of balls at shoulder height, semi-western grip, very powerful stroke. See what I'm doing? I'm letting the ball drop down by my knees. I'm doing this low to high swing thing with my follow through going way out in front of me. The modern player does more of a wrap around their neck with this semi-western grip. It's good to have that tool as well as if you're a senior player. If you know how to use the different grips, I use kind of a composite grip. It's kind of like a continental and an eastern forehand. I have a lot of feel with it. It's not something you kind of teach newer players to use. So maybe it's like a 4-iron in the golf bag a little bit. But one of the things I'm trying to do also is to get a bit more power on my ball. So I need to accelerate my swing, my forward swing, set it up smooth, and then accelerate. Hope this mic is working out all right. It's got a really small indicator light on it as to whether it's on or off or whatever. Otherwise, it's pretty nice so far. See how long it lasts. drifting a little bit. When you swing through like that on your backhand, it can start off being a little sloppy. I'm very tight today, I need to stretch. But as you do it more and more, one of the things I'm trying to be conscious of is to really get this pendulum swing going, where I have my arm and racket in this L position, and I try to maintain that. And it doesn't have to be so rigidly maintained, but if you watch even the modern day players that are crunching backhands, it's a thing of art how they move around the court and keep this locked in and nice and smooth throughout the court. It's hardly moving. There's not many waves in it. Stan Wawrinka has this incredible, just very, it looks like a piece of architecture as he runs and just uncoils on the ball. And a lot of the young players today are doing one-handers. It's interesting how things kind of circle back in time. I'd say in the 90s, two-handers were very dominant. The Andre Agassi era, everybody wanted to be like Andre. Heck, I even had some shorts that were denim with the pink neon. That wasn't the best type of short to use in the South. At that time I had it in Texas, and it was hot in Texas, and that inner liner neoprene, whatever it was, and then the denim, it's not the right equipment for the area. I'm still using this softball because I'm just very sore today. I can hardly bend down on my backhand. That was a nice stroke. Accelerate, accelerate. It's easier for me to get limber on my forehand. Just got more feel on that side, obviously. A lot of people have a preferred side. Most people, it's the forehand. It's rare that a one-handed backhand player is going to have a stronger backhand than forehand, and it's amazing when they do. Stan Wawrinka, I think for a while his backhand was certainly his favorite. He improved his forehand a lot a few years ago. He still has a wicked backhand, as do a bunch of the top 10 players. Well, I shouldn't say just top 10, but that was a good one. I'm doing raw, unedited teaching and hitting, not photoshopping anything or fixing mishits. Just, it is what it is. The wall's a good workout. There's a lot of different drills you can do. There's a ton of leaves out here right now. I don't want to slip on my honey. Let's try a few half volleys. I'm kind of a guy that likes to go in. I like getting up to the net. My Bautista Agut continental grip composite forehand is pretty awesome sometimes. I just happen to have a lot of feel in here. It's probably my favorite part of my game. When you're playing a lot. When you're not playing a lot, this is very hard to do. If I can do this as well on my backhand I think I'm going to be doing all right in these tournaments. I have one coming up in a few weeks. I got woken up on the last tournament where I stand. So I'm working on my game. And I've identified what I need to do to fix or improve results, and just it's very clear. And for every player it's different. Certainly I think in tournament play, at least for a senior player, and I would say, I mean for all players, you go play a tournament and you're gonna get a lot better workout from a tournament because it means more. So you engage and fire your muscles a lot harder in tournament play than you do obviously social play, but even in league play. In league play, you kind of know the surroundings really well if you're playing a lot, because it's convenient, it's right next door. And you know who the players are because they're right next door. And your universe can become a little small. And you can have a distorted perception of where you stand because you're only seeing, you know, a universe of maybe 20, 30, 40 guys that you see all the time. You start playing some tourneys, you're seeing some people that are from out of state. God, that's a sloppy backhand. Let's fix this. I love just hitting against the wall though, and just building up your endurance. And you're probably wondering, okay, why does he hit some on one bounce and some on two? This is not going to be the prettiest video because I'm super stiff. I'm not making excuses, but you know, pretty much I want to show you videos where I'm hitting the ball really well, and today I'm a little off. That's just life. It's the life of a seasoned senior tennis player that's playing a lot of tennis. Your body's sore some days, so you're not stretched out. I'm standing too much over the ball instead of using my legs. It's easier for me to do it on my forehand. On the backhand side, you got to do more of a squat with both legs. On the forehand, you can kind of bend and manage a shot in here. That doesn't work too good on a backhand. But you get your contact points farther in front. You can get away with a lot more on the forehand. You can hit back here. And those are good to practice because oftentimes that happens in a match. You got to do a little scoop shot that gets behind you because you were too lazy to get in position so that you could step onto your front foot. You let it get behind you and you got to be able to make that shot. Not recommended. It's easy to do when you're all loose and cool. Doing a demo, you can hit like this and look like you're Mr. Smoothness. But when you go play a tournament, see this big wave I got in my arm? You're not going to do that in a tournament. You're going to be tightened up. That swing is going to look like this in a tournament. But if you do it a lot, it'll get better. How about some more backhands? I was told to make longer videos, so you're going to see all the mistakes and errors and everything else that comes from hitting. I've been hitting about, I don't know, probably 20 minutes straight. Oh, I should have ran to that ball. Whew. Let's get some more backhands. All right. Okay, kids. Still working on the diet. Was making a lot of improvement. Then I had a bad day. Met up with some friends, had a little celebration. Ate some yummy food that's not good for you. I've been better though. I only did that once in the last 10 days, right? Kind of silly. But it comes back faster than it goes away. So I have to be a little more disciplined. I got to get rid of this so I can run and have more endurance. The things I identified that I need to improve upon are power, speed, and endurance. Speed in the not just my footwork. I think I'm pretty fast, but racket speed. To have good racket speed, you got to be prepared, which means you have to have the force of will as the ball is coming, read it, and get in position sooner so you can kind of hover over the ball and then accelerate instead of hitting off your back foot. I do that too much. I hit off the back foot because I have pretty good hands and I get away with it. But if you want to instigate and initiate and be on offense right out of the get-go, you got to be looking, sizing up the situation so that you can start being forward on balls, dictating, which produces eventually a short ball that you got to go up and be hungry and get in position and put it away. So a lot more decisiveness. The better players make their decision and they go with it and they invest the effort to get up there and make the best of that shot. When you're hesitating or you're a little out of shape, you have time. You can back up and then make some decisions. Do I want to throw up a lob or do I want to bump it over here? But you're moving backwards when you do that. And we want to move forward and dictate and take time away from our opponent. So the wall is really good for this. Even though I'm practicing some of these sly shots, I'm also working on stepping in, especially on the backhand. I use slice, I can carve it, it's nice, it's fun. It's been fruitful for a while, but against the better players, that's not good enough. So we'll try to step in and drive a few backhands. Let's try that. Needed a little rest. There we go. Stepping in. Forward, forward, a little late. When you're really feeling kind of fit, get those feet moving, and there's a lot more shoe squeakiness going on. Got to be careful, there's a lot of leaves out here. I don't want to slip on my tail. But, all right. Let's button this one up and see what the next one brings.